What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today, here we are with the showcase with the man, the myth, the legend, the V2 Sengoku. Bro, I was not expecting to be pulling this guy, but if you guys would have seen the, 2 to 3 minute clip that I uploaded to the YouTube channel, yeah, look, I decided to do some off-screen skis. We were actually out at the time, and decided to do some pulls on part 3, and we had some of the craziest luck I have had on this banner, where we're able to get not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of Sengoku, getting him to Super Tandem level 3. Of course, we had to make a showcase video about him right before I head off to New York City for New York Comic Con. If you guys are heading out, by the way, make sure to come by the One Piece Treasure Cruise booth and say hi. It's going to be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and talk about Sengoku. Let's talk about his goodies. Is he actually as bad as what people say he is? Let's go ahead and discuss it. So of course we're going to be doing our typical thing where we have a couple of different clips showcasing him. We've got a Garp challenge, 2 arenas, and we also have the point farming event. Obviously he's like the boosted unit for the event, it makes sense. But this character is a Psi Fighter Cerebral. He's actually Cerebral Fighter, gotta say that first. His first class is actually Cerebral. And the captain ability of this character, as underwhelming as it is, will boost all characters' attack by 4.5 with a 1.5 health boost, as well as making Psi and Tandem slots and unfavorable slots become beneficial to the crew. But then, if you have one of every color on your crew, you get a 5.5 times attack boost instead, and 10% damage reduction. Now, I think a lot of people echo the same statements at this point, that the captain ability, for the conditions that you have to fulfill, one of every color is relatively difficult to achieve in terms of, actually building these really top tier teams that can actually beat difficult content. So the fact that you have to do that, I really believe that there should have been an additional effect once you complete the condition of having one of every color. I think that removing 10 turns of a debuff or multiple debuffs, I think would have definitely made this character much better, and people really would go out of their way to use this guy in content. But because he just gives you a higher attack multiplier, I mean 5.5 is amazing, no one's really disputing the attack multiplier. But there are plenty of other characters in the game that can give you really high attack multipliers that do other things that are far superior than what this Sengoku is able to achieve, right? So those are the real downsides that a lot of people will typically bring up about the Sengoku character. But at the end of the day, it is still a 5.5 multiplier with a 1.5 health boost, and I think one of the most underrated gimmicks of his captain ability is making all of these slots beneficial. Psi, Tandem, and unfavorable slots. I think that a lot of people really do overlook that, and the amount of matching slots that you get through content is actually really bizarre. And the fact that if you're in a situation where the enemy gives you badly matching slots, which actually happens a lot more often than you would think, just being able to just get a full board of matching slots because of that is just wicked. Not even having to worry about bringing a slot manipulator because he naturally will give you so many beneficial slots. And on top of that, you can have crewmate abilities which can make other slots beneficial to the crew as well. So it just stacks quite nicely with some other characters. And then of course you have access to his super type special. Now the thing is because you do need to build typically with this guy as a captain with one of every color, the fact that they have a restriction on his super type which is pertaining to very specific characters can also really hurt this guy in the long run. But to be honest, if you're building this guy in content, you want to be building with these characters anyway to get access to that super tandem. We'll talk more about the super tandem in a moment because it's actually nuts how good it is, but the effect will just give you a 1250 base attack boost to all characters for 1 turn, and Psi characters become Super Psi. This is also a relatively disappointing component of this character. The 1250 base attack boost is great. Again, no one really disputes that, but what people are arguing about is the fact that he doesn't really do that much with the super type. It's just base attack, and you got other characters in the game that can do way more than what this character is able to provide. I definitely think that, again, there should have been some additional effect effect in the super type ability. Maybe like an orb block I think would have been kind of interesting because of the fact that his special ability is able to provide you with matching slots, or because his kit doesn't have any way to get rid of block slots. I don't think any of the rare recruits get rid of block slots either. It would have been nice if the super type special changed all block slots into tandem or something like that. That would have been ridiculously useful for the character, but I digress. You know, a 1250 base attack boost offensively is fantastic, but just really needed a little bit extra spice on top of what he currently has. And then of course you have his amazing special, and I say amazing in quotation marks because, I mean, it's interesting, where it says that if you have one of every color on the crew, you get a 4 times attack and orb boost to one chosen character for 1 turn. Like, that is a really strong amount of damage that you're able to provide. And you got Sengoku himself, which can essentially give you that plus the 1250 base attack. But on top of that, if you do have one of every color on the crew, the character that you chose to give that attack and orb buff will receive a matching slot, and every other crew member that didn't get the buff will get a tandem slot. So this is actually really nice in the fact that you're able to set up the super tandem. You can set up where you have one of every color, you use Sengoku special on the character that will have type advantage against the boss, you hit with that character last, you have your super tandem activated, and you can do some pretty good damage. However, it depends on what kind of crewmate you are using. If you're using some of the new rare recruits from his batch, this effect is much more powerful, but of course, because of the super tandem and the way that it is structured, you actually kind of want it to just be Sengoku, or you want to choose your captain with this due to Sengoku's super tandem ability. But overall, the effect is kind of nice with the way the character is built, but it is a little strange that it's not a damage dealing special. I think that would have been nice if there was a little bit of damage on top of it, so you could have some more interesting supports potentially. But it does go on to state that if you do not have, you know, all the colors on your crew, but instead you have 4 or more side characters, then you choose one character to receive 3.5 times attack and orb boost instead, and you do not get any orb change in that situation either. So the final clip of the video is going to be against a GARP challenge where we just have a mono side team, and I mean, it's definitely nowhere near as impactful as when you have, you know, all the colors on your team to get the full board of slots, as well as the much more significant attack and orb boosting effect. So let's talk about the arguably most powerful effect of the character, which is the super tandem effect. Now, when we look back at other characters' super tandem abilities, typically their level 1 ability is essentially worthless, and you shouldn't really go out of your way to build a team around a super tandem level 1 effect. However, with the way that Sengoku is built, the level 1 effect of this guy is actually amazing. So in order for you to activate it, you need to have Sengoku himself, and then 2 other characters on your crew, and it can be Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru, Fujitora, or Monkey D. Garb. That is at level 1. That does change a little bit later on, but the level 1 ability provides a 2 times tandem attack boost to the top row, and then a 1.1 times tandem attack boost to the rest of the crew. And this is what I'm saying, the fact that the level 1 super tandem gives your top row double Sengoku the 2 times attack boost, that is absurd. The fact that the character can give you those tandem slots, the fact that you can get a 4 times attack and orb boosting effect, and you can get a 2 times boost on top of that with that super tandem, that is crazy. That is amazing. But then if you go all the way to level 4, the condition does actually add a couple more characters. Suru, Smoker, Tashigi, Hina, and Kobe are all added to this condition. But at level 5, once you get the max condition activated, the max level up of super tandem, the multipliers do slightly change, where the top row receives 2.5 times attack and the other characters receive 1.5. So that is still relatively good. You know, the rest of the crew members still get a little bit of a bonus, but of course you want to be promoting those characters in your captain slots as they receive a very substantial increase, which of course where the new rare recruits can come in and really abuse this effect, as you can have them switch into the captain position and then they will gain those massive buffs. And obviously the rare recruits, when they switch into the captain position, will get access to their super type, which can give themselves a 2.5 times color affinity. So you can have a 2.5 affinity, you can have a 4 times attack, a 4 times orb boost, you can have the super tandem giving them an additional, 2 to 2.5 boost. And you can see with all of these effects stacking up together, you can do some absurd damage. But this is where things can be a little tricky, because in order to use the Super Tandem, you do need to run those very specific Admiral or Navy characters, which aren't always the best options for team building, which is a bit of a shame. And a lot of the characters that you need to use in order to activate the Super Tandem typically don't have good special effects either, and a lot of them really don't have amazing supports, and some of them that do have supports have a bit of overlap with each other, like, you know, typically Akainu's can attach to, you know, Kizaru's and Aokijis and vice versa, and if you have to use all of them on a team, well, you can get into a bit of a situation where you need a specific support, but you can't do it because their character's already on your team. So that can definitely be a bit of an issue. But I must say, this character is extremely fun to play with, and I've had a bunch of fun using him thus far. I definitely want to try and use him more as things move forward, for sure. He's a pretty interesting unit, but I don't think he's going to be everyone's cup of tea. But that's going to wrap it up from me, though. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.
海賊たちを決して広場にあげるな。それが貴様の答えだな。